Hey, and welcome back to a video on the Ratboar channel where we are showcasing Simply Posh's Down to Earth, which is available now. She retails for $55, but if you use my code Kelly, spelled K-E-L-L-Y, you can save 10%, and I don't know what 10% of 55 is off the top of my head because I got a bad grade in math, but anyway, let's just look at these beautiful swatches. I've got tutorials and reviews for you, so stay tuned. And I've also got comparisons on my community post, so check that out if you are interested. It's down to earth. It's down to earth, day 1. And I feel like I just have NPC dialogue and it's always, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Because I don't know what I'm going to do today. But you know what? I think I'm going to have to, I'm debating because, I don't want to say it's typical of me, but generally when a Simply Posh palette has like a bunch of color options, I really like to try and use all the colors in a look. But I don't know if I want to do that today. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'll have a little bit more time and I'm also really exhausted today. I had a terrible gym day because I was just so exhausted. But because at first I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do greens, but I think I really want to do yellows actually. Hold on. Yellow section and green. So let me think. Yellow. Okay. I'm going to start with Calming, which is this sun yellow color, and I'm taking this like fluffy brush. This might not be the best brush to use, but it's what we got. And I'm just gonna lightly apply it in the inner corner. And I will say, also, this is, I think, the first Simply Posh palette that I have. Wait, the OG Cozy Cabin doesn't have any fun. And when I say OG, I mean like the OG Cozy Cabin palette. Doesn't have any imprints on it. So like, it is kind of a shame that this one doesn't have imprints somewhere. But yeah, anyway. Just building that up. I just wanted to point out, it's not necessarily, it's not a negative by any means. It's just like a surprise because they've always had like fun little imprints. But you know what? It doesn't bother me either way. I mean, I do really like them, but I don't know if that's like an additional cost. Well, I would imagine it has to be, but anyway. What am I going to go in with next? I think I'm going to go in with Lush now. Debating if I need to change brushes. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to just take this fluffy Simply Posh brush. And then I'm going to go in with Lush. Oh, that is so light, but I really love that color. I mean, it's green, so yeah. And I'm just going to lightly blend that out. And then I'm going to take Sage on the same brush and go on the outer portion. The other thing I'm wondering is if I want to bring in Thrive, because I think that would be so freaking cute. But then I'm like basically doing a rainbow look, low-key. So I think right now I'm just going to keep it at Sage. Like I'm not going to incorporate Thrive yet. And also, I like how light this is up here. And I will say, this one is more powdery than Black Cherry. Okay, and then I'm actually going to take Lush again. Just kind of blend that, and then actually kind of use this to blend out Sage just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to bring it a little bit lower down here. I don't really think it's necessary to do that, but I just am doing that. Now this is kind of making me wish I did add Thrive, but you know what? I'm committing to this more simple, simple look. Okay, and then just bringing in Sage a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take this Reefer brush. I know it's Reefer, by the way. I just want to call it Reefer. Wait, and I just cleaned it. Ugh. I will say, hold on, this Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleaner, I know this is very iconic and very popular, and I really like how quick it is to use, but the stench of it is, oddly, like, intoxicating, but I don't like it. But I can't stop sniffing it. Okay, taking this reefer brush, and I'm going in with foliage. And this one is much darker, so I don't want to go too... Well, I do want some depth to this, but anyway. Just trying to be strategic. Okay, I'm adding a little more foliage. Okay, that might have been too much. That's okay. I can always go back in with sage. And then I'm going to take succulent on the same brush. And then going back in with foliage just to bring it up a little bit higher and kind of blend these two together. Yesterday, I don't know why, I just suddenly decided... Hold on, I need another brush. I think I'm going to take this random... An old coworker gave this to me before she left because she's like, I know you really like makeup, and I don't know why I bought these brushes. So I don't know where she got them from. But it's this like angled fluffy brush. And then I'm going to go in with Canyon. And this one is definitely like more hard pressed than some of the other eyeshadows. And yesterday I just decided, I was like, I need to make my pretzel dogs. Well, I didn't just decide, but I've been meaning to make them, and then we got out of town. And then I wanted to make them so we could snack on them. And then I also decided, I was like, I need to make a banana syrup right now while I'm working on these pretzel dogs. And then I let the banana syrup get too thick, so it's okay. Like, the flavor is good in my opinion, but I just ended up with this like really... I had to separate the syrup from the banana compo jam that I made somehow, which I really liked with my little roll cake that I made. It was good, but I need to have a second go at making a proper banana syrup that's actually a syrupy consistency and not banana jam. Okay, and you know what? I'm actually going to take a little bit of succulent and bring it here. Okay, and actually go in with Canyon too. Okay, back into succulent. You know what? I'm not going to do the lower lash line on camera because I just don't have the capacity to, but I'm going to catch my other eye up to speed. I think we've got this all figured out. Now, the hard part is what shimmers I want to do because we have such good options in here, and I mentioned it in my black cherry video, but the shimmers in here I feel like are really unique to the other eyeshadow palettes that Simply Posh has done, so that's why I'm like, oh, just at a loss for words. Okay, I definitely have to wear Sunbaked for sure, and I think I'm going to do that on the inner portion of my eyeball. I think I'm actually going to do a fluffy brush first. And I'm not using any sort of glitter glue. It's stunning. Okay, I just want to diffuse it first. And then I'm going to take my ring finger. Not that it matters, but... Oh my lord. Oh, that blue. Stunning. It's so pretty. And I don't know what I want to do next. I'm really tempted to do earthy, but yeah, you know what? We will. We'll do earthy. So, wow, it feels so dry, but like in a good way. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything different on the outer edge, but I might just leave it at earthy and Sunbaked. Okay, earthy already. It's reminding me of Serene from the Coastal palette, which I have been dying for them to do more shimmers like that, where it's got this like silver reflect. And I see that Soil kind of has that look too, so I'm really excited. Okay, and I'm just going in with this brush that I used for the inner corner and using Sunbaked, and I'm going to do earthy just to really diffuse the shimmer. Oh my god, that is so freaking beautiful. And then I'm just going to go back in with to Sunbaked just a little bit, just to kind of bring the blue a little further and kind of merge these two together. Wow. Wow. Okay. And I haven't used a glitter glue for my lower lash line in a hot minute, but I figured, oops, that I'll just do that. Completely unrelated. Is it clean? Yeah. Completely unrelated, but I watched the new Superman movie finally because it came on to streaming. And my husband was playing Balatro on his phone, and he was like, oh my gosh, I really liked having a second screen experience. Like, it was such like a revelation for him because he's not the type of person to watch a movie and do something else at the same time. Unlike me, where I feel like I watch a movie mostly as like a background thing while I'm like editing pictures and stuff, so I'm not always paying attention to what I'm watching. And I don't know, I mean, he's seen me doing that before too, so I don't know why I just suddenly clicked for him to do that. But right now we're watching Misery, the movie, because he's never seen it, and I'm like, you should watch it. And I don't know, it's just so funny to me that he's just like so having such a profound experience being distracted on your phone while watching a movie. Okay. Wow, so I'm somehow really tempted to add Soil in here, but restraint. And I'm going to do my lipstick, and then we'll be finished. Okay, lip combo. Italia Deluxe medium brown is the lip liner, and then the gloss is Simply Posh Let It Snow. This is from the Snow Angel collection. Yeah, I really like how this look turned out. I do feel like there's certain parts of Succulent that got a little bit stuck, like didn't blend up super high, but it happened on both eyes, so I think it's actually my eye primer, because I used the Visart eyeshadow primer, and I mixed it with the A2O Lab waterproof makeup sealer, and then I also did, then I did the MAC paint pot in soft ochre on top, so we have a lot going on the base today, so that might have been what it is, and yeah, but it's only day one, so we'll see what what else is in store for me. But I'm really happy with the look. I think it looks stunning, and the shimmers are so top notch. And I know there was some concern for some people because they felt like this looked a little bit too similar to Coastal, which I can see the resemblance in some ways, but I feel like the tones are the complete opposite. And then I want to say the brand also clarified that Down to Earth is the sister to Coastal. And I did say this in my Black Cherry video, but I think it's just going to be inevitable sometimes that when you specialize in eyeshadows, for your brand, there's just always going to be some level of overlap somewhere, and that can be a good or bad thing for some people. So I don't know if I need to like be redundant and, you know, go over those details again. But yeah, so far, like, I really love the shimmers though. Like, I just know these are going to be some of my favorite shimmers already. Like, they're super unique to the brand. I need to work on swatch comparisons today. Pray for my arm, y'all. I might even get desperate and start using my other arm, but it's already, I don't know what it is. I'm unable to swatch on my arm freehand without it being crooked every single time. So if somebody has tips for that aren't stencils, mind you, because there's nothing wrong with swatching with stencils. I think they create a really beautiful look. I just really struggle with them because I feel like they just don't stick to my arm very well. Yeah, and I feel like I could probably just make my own sort of like stencil with painter's tape, but I don't want to. I really don't want to do that, sorry. Enough of my whining. I am very excited for days 2 and 3 using this palette, so yeah, let me know what you think of this look. Yay, day 2. I definitely want to use Botanical and Thrive today. We'll see. We'll see how this turns out. I think I'm going to go in with Botanical first, and I'm going to take this on a, what is this? Is this SO1? SO1 Reefer brush. Wow, that is really pigmented. And for eye primer, I did set down this old Smashbox eye primer that I have, and then I did the MAC Paint Pot in something Whisper, the white one that is discontinued. Now I'm taking Thrive and blending out Botanical. Wow, that is so pigmented. Holding my breath as I blend for no reason. I think I want there to be a good amount of blue. And then I'm going back in with Botanical. Oop. Tapping off any excess. And blending that out. Going back in with Thrive. And I feel like you could blend out Thrive with Sage, which I might try doing, just because it's so saturated. Let me just make sure I got an excess. Okay, taking a little hint of Sage on a really fluffy Simply Posh brush, just to really get the edges. Blend it out. And I mean, the tiniest Whisper of products, so I don't want it to stand out too much. Okay, and then I'm bringing this up a little bit higher. Okay, cool. And taking Thrive again. And blending that upwards, because I want to take Calming now, and just the smallest hint of that. Don't know if this is the exact brush shape I want to use for such a small corner, but because it's not, I'm going to take this Cleona brush, which I think they don't make anymore, but it's like an eyeshadow packer brush, and I'm going to take Nature. And place that in the inner corner. Now, I feel like this is going to be like a repeat look of yesterday because I really want to use Earth Clay, but I think I'm going to refrain from that because I do want this to be a little bit different from yesterday. Okay, and bringing this in as far as I can afford to without like blending it into Thrive so much. And then taking this and just taking a little bit of Calming. I don't want too much, but... And then going back in with Nature just to really buff out the edges. I really like the tone of Nature though. I feel like Simply Posh does such a good job with their orange eyeshadows. Awesome. And then I'm going to take Nature on the lower lash line. Calming. Random lint on my face again. But I don't want too much of not lint, but of Calming. And wiping any excess. Taking Thrive. Because I think I want the majority of my lower lash line to be Thrive. I am not really big into Labubus. Like, I think they're conceptually cute, but like, I just feel like the way that people act about Labubus kind of is like very off-putting to me, which is funny because like I love collecting little strange guys and I love a good trinket, but I don't know, there's just something that like it feels so soulless about a Labubu, which is funny because I really like the original art, and then I'm taking Botanical just to deepen that up. But the original art for Labubus are really fun, and I don't know if they, I don't know how to say this, like, I feel like the original art style for Labubus would actually translate really well to, like, fun little desk trinkets or keychains or whatever, but it's just interesting that the Labubus that they sell are, they feel so sanitized and devoid of personality to me. But they just are teasing, they being Pop Mart, just launched some sort of teaser showcasing clown Labubus, and I'm so here for that. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and buy a Labubu now, but I think they're very cute. And I also like the shrimp tempura Labubu. I think that one is very, very cute. And I wish we saw more, like, funsy kind of, like, Labubus. Labubu? Instead of, like, the just plain monster. But that's just what I think. Fun. Okay, I think I'm also actually going to try and take a little bit of nature on the lid itself. That is so pretty. Cool. And I'm going to go back in with Sage just to, again, round out the edges of this blend. This honestly, like, looks so much better than I was anticipating, like, blending Sage out, just because it's such a, I don't want to say it's such a different tone, but the color is just so green. I was afraid that it was going to show up too much, but I really like using that to blend out Thrive. So, love that. I'm going to catch the other eye up to speed. I just accidentally leaned into this palette while it was still open, so now I have eyeshadow on my shirt. Love that. So I definitely have to do Down to Earth. And I'm definitely doing it on the outer portion. Oh, yes. It is beautiful. It's dry. I'm not wearing glitter glue. And I think I'm going to actually go, oh, hold on. Let's do the other eye. Okay, we can work on getting that even in a bit. And next I'm going to go in with Growth. Ooh, it's so much more pink than I was expecting. That's fine by me. You do see the green though. You do see the green. And for the inner portion, I'm going to go in with Oasis. I would have done Sunbaked, but my eyeball. I would have wore Sunbaked on the inner portion, but I did wear it yesterday, but I think this would be really cute with Sunbaked. Ooh. Okay, that's so pretty. Okay, my eyeball's really bothering me. Okay, I don't know what in the world was bothering my eyelid so much, or eyeball in particular, but I had so much luck using, well, I mean, it's glitter glue, so I don't know why I'm talking about, like, oh my god, I can't believe this worked, guys. But I'm going to apply some glitter glue to my lower lash line. And then I'm just taking this random paintbrush and applying it. I don't know why I do this with my nose. I just feel like sometimes it helps me apply stuff better. Don't question the logic. Now taking a cutesy little pencil brush from BH Cosmetics. It just says 10 on it, but what does that matter? Because they have like so many different brush sets. Do they even still make brush sets anymore? That's what I want to know. Because I remember they were acquired by Makeup Revolution, and then I feel like we just never heard anything from them again. But I used to scour the TJ Maxx girl for all of their brush sets. And then I really wanted the Zodiac brush set so bad. And I found one, but it was opened and it just looked so, like, I don't know, it just didn't look right. Like, I think someone had taken some from the set, so it wasn't discounted, but I was like, I want all of them. And then I never saw it again. Okay, and then just kind of going back in and diffusing. This is not really the brush to do that with, but I'm lazy. And I really want more growth. Wipe off excess. I'm going to take growth and blend that. Just so we get more pink happening. And I don't know which, yeah. Okay, I was like, I'm going to put one on my brow bone, but I honestly think they're all a little bit too pigmented to, like, they have a colored base to it, so I don't know if I would like it as a sort of brow bone highlighter shade. And then I'm going to apply some black mascara. Because you know what? I don't know if I like brown mascara on me. I'm currently using the Han All Fixing mascara, and it's a brown shade. And then I just end up putting a black eyeshadow or black mascara on top because I just naturally have really dark lashes in the first place, and I just feel like I understand the appeal of brown mascara. I just don't really think it is that good on me. Nice. I shall apply a lipstick or of something of some sort, and then I'll be done. This is the finished look. I do feel like the blush is not really matching with the vibe of the rest of the face, so I do apologize, but I need to stop doing that. I need to stop apologizing for random stuff. But I did use the Simply Posh Cosmetics Snow Angel Liquid Blush in Rosy Cheeks, which is one of my favorite pink blushes, but I should have gone a more muted route. But I don't know, sometimes I really need to think about going back to kind of just doing a base makeup. How do I say this? Just doing like my foundation and concealer, maybe contour, and then doing my eyeshadow and then picking a blush, because sometimes a lot of the times I just have a blush already on and then I don't like think about how is this going to interact with my eyeshadow. Most of the time I don't really care, but I feel like in this case, like, it is kind of clashing a little bit, especially with the lipstick, which is Jeanette from Unearthly Cosmetics. But I do really like how this look turned out. Yeah, I do feel like my blend is a little wonky. It is what it is. I wouldn't blame it on the eyeshadow. Definitely my application. Hold on. Ah! Disc is so messy. What's new? Let me see if I can fix that up a little bit for the pictures. But yeah, I I want to try and save all my thoughts for the kind of end of the video, because I don't know if people like when I do sort of my thoughts after using the palette and then having more finished, complete thoughts at the sort of day 3 mark, but I do really like kind of updating my opinion as I go. And I will say I feel like this palette is just personally more up my alley color-wise compared to Black Cherry, which, don't get me wrong, I think is a great palette for what it is, which is more neutral leaning / monochromatic leaning, and this one just has more color variety. But I will say I absolutely love the depth that we get in Black Cherry, because this one we have more. See, I think that's the thing too, is if you when you have palettes like these, you're kind of prioritizing, like, do I want more color variety or do I want more depth? because the darkest colors in the Down to Earth palette aren't always necessarily going to work for the other shades. So like using the darker greens and blues to blend out the oranges, like I think you can make that work, but it does require a little bit of skill, in my opinion. There's some give and take there, in my opinion. So yeah. Otherwise, I'm very happy with the look. I feel like the shadows blended into each other really well, and I think these shimmers are definitely one of my favorites because, again, I think they're very unique for the Simply Posh lineup. So I will have more thoughts tomorrow when I do my makeup, but let me know what you think of this eyeshadow look, and let me know which one is going to be your favorite. Okay, I think I'm honestly, I'm going to do something fairly simple today. I initially wanted to kind of do a look that showcased all the colors in one look, but I really don't have a lot of time today. I'm going to take Grounded on a big fluffy BH Cosmetics. This is a V5. And place that all over the lid. Well, not all over the lid, actually. I think just kind of on the outer corner for right now. I think I might actually switch brushes because I don't want to bring it too high. And I'm just going to use this Simply Posh brush. And build up some of the pigment. And at first I was like, I think I want to do something just like using Grounded, Organic, and Earth Clay because I haven't used those shades yet, but I think I might actually include all the darker mattes, but we'll see. And I'm going to take on a different brush Earth Clay. And blend that next to Grounded. And then I'm going to take Canyon and do the same thing. I'm not switching brushes because I'm toxic. And I think I'm going to actually go in with Succulent next and take this on a BH Cosmetics 9 brush. I'll see if I can make all the colors work on the lid here like I want. And then a little hint of foliage. Oh, I definitely need a different brush. I'm going to take this very small 7 face brush just to get the inner portion right here. I honestly don't want too much of foliage, so I'm just keeping it really condensed. Cool. And I'm just going back in with this BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm going to take Organic. Ooh, sorry, I grabbed so much pigment. I don't know why I'm rushing, but I am. I'm in a rush. And then going back into Grounded and just blending that better so it's more seamless. Going into Organic again. I will say Organic is a lot more yellow than I was anticipating on the lid. I feel like it was kind of tan, but I need to look at my swatches of it, which are on my computer. Okay, and I think I'm going to try and take Organic as further in as I can without having to switch colors too much. Okay. Then going into Earth Clay just to blend and add some depth. And Grounded, because I think I want Grounded to kind of be the main darkest color here. And for the inner portion, I definitely want to take, I was going to say Lush, but it's so light. So you know what, let's try Lush first. Because I really wanted to do Sage at first, but I think I'm actually going to do Lush instead. And then a hint of Sage. just to... All right, I think I'm actually going to take this a slightly different direction. I'm going to take this sort of flat shader brush from Simply Posh Cosmetics, and I'm going to see if I can do grounded kind of all over the... Oh, I forgot I was going to actually do a little bit of botanical just to really get some extra depth. Also, I have this, I don't know if I want to show you the bottle because it's really crusty. This old Maybelline foundation. This is the Super Stay foundation. It's discontinued and it's just so dry, but it crusts so bad at the part that the foundation comes out of. And I literally just squirted some out and it launched across my office. So don't love that for me. Okay, now I'm going to take Botanical on this Blend Brunny, a B5 Blend Bunny Cosmetics brush. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. And I really love how on top of this, it just gives it this kind of depth. And I will say, it's not going on muddy, but it's definitely muted, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm going to take a little bit of foliage just to blend out those edges because it's a similar color. And blending that out. Okay, I'm going to go back in with Botanical and kind of bring it on the inner portion or the mid lid, the middle of the lid. I'm just kind of switching back and forth between foliage and Botanical. And then because we are losing grounded a little bit, just on the edge, which I knew was going to happen because we're adding in such a different color with Botanical and foliage, but that's okay. Okay, nice. I'm almost tempted to do a sort of all the way across the lid, bringing in Botanical and foliage, but I think I want to leave it a little bit light on the inner corner. So I'm going to catch my other eye up to speed and also do the lower lash line off camera. This is so fun, and well, I will say I feel like now that I'm really looking at it, my blend is not even at all. But you know what? Country girls make do. We'll try and whatever. I have never claimed perfection. Okay, so I think for the first application, I'm going to try using a flat shader brush, and I'm taking soil. Why I called it foil. Just to kind of put it all over the lid, because I think it might be the only shimmer I'm going to use, and then I'm going to go and whip my finger. Oh, soil is so foiled. Wow, that is gorgeous though. Gorgeous. Just the sparkle from that is next level. Oh, I said I was going to use my brush. I'm forgetting if Simply Posh does offer, oh, I have it right here. So I was just looking for my Pixie Epoxy. I forget if they offer single shadows for all of their palette releases. But if they do, I feel like Soil is 100% worth getting. Unless you like have a shimmer that's really similar to it, then like maybe you don't need it. But honestly, I really, 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 really love the shimmers in this palette. Like this is, I'm going to take this random BH Cosmetics brush and I'm taking Soil. and just applying all on the lower lash line. There is a part of me that's tempted to add another shimmer color in this, but I think because I used so many mattes, I do kind of want to keep this more simple. But I really like this look. I like this look. Hold on. Ooh, I'm hungry. I'm going to go in with Canyon and Earth Clay and just kind of add a little bit more orange here, because I feel like we're missing that on this eye. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do for lipstick yet. Probably something a little neutral. Okay, I feel like this lip combo is a little bit similar to what I was wearing in my Black Cherry video, but I swear to God it's different. It's Max Marrakesh, which is definitely expired because it smells a little weird, but yes, I'm still wearing it. And then, where did I put it? Oh, I'm using this Wake Make lip gloss in, the Dewy Gel Glow Tint in 13, which is called Black Hush as well. And also for a plumping lip gloss, which I normally don't like, I really like the Korean plumping ones because I feel like they give a little bit of a tingly sensation, but they're not too plumping either. And I normally don't like, it's weird, I don't mind mint as a flavor, but I generally don't like mint in my lip products. But I like that one. That one's, it just feels like refreshing in this weird way. I don't know. This is the final look. I kind of wish I went a little bit more orange or maybe even brown with the look instead of kind of red brown, but I'm not gonna complain. Oh, you know what? Black mascara. I meant to do some black mascara, so fingers crossed I don't smudge any. Oh, I was like, there's something bothering my eyeball, and there is a freaking eyelash poking me. Let's see if I can extract it. Ooh. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, now this is the final look. So, final thoughts on this palette so far. I had such a fun time using this. This is generally kind of like the color story or like theming that I like from Simply Posh, where there's a couple, well, honestly, I will say I feel like only Organic and Grounded are kind of neutral. I feel like Earth Clay, Canyon, Nature, those are still like, I don't want to say specific tones, but they still feel very colorful to me. But the shimmers in here are just top tier, so beautiful, and I really like that there's no overlap in here, because if you didn't watch my Black Cherry video, I felt like there was a little bit of overlap, and I wish that there was some more differences between some of the shimmers, but these are all really dry, which I really love. They're flaky, they're shimmery, they're beautiful. And like I said, we get a really nice variety of color in here. I really like the mattes in here. I will say, I feel like Lush is also very, very light. Like, it's the barest hint of green. It's a very beautiful tone and definitely one that I haven't seen from them for sure. So it feels really unique in that aspect. It is going to be very, very light. So if you're looking for something with a little bit more green, their other palettes are going to be, are going to cater to that a little bit more. I really like Botanical and Thrive, though I actually wish that Thrive, I don't know, it's weird because when I look at the sort of, I guess I'll show you, like the green and blue half of this palette, I really love how that looks as a 9-pan, but I kind of wish it was a little bit lighter, because I felt like when I wore Botanical yesterday and Thrive, I wanted to use Sage to kind of blend Thrive out a little bit, and or maybe make Botanical just like a smidge darker, and I really liked layering it on top of Grounded for this like really dark smoky look. It's so beautiful like that. And you know what, let me just swatch Earth Clay and Canyon, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like honestly these two are very similar. Sorry, I'm not good at swatching matte eyeshadows, so I'll put swatches on screen, but I feel like those are a little bit similar in my opinion. Like, I kind of wish that Canyon was maybe a little bit more yellow to match Calming a little bit more, because I do really like the color of Canyon, but I feel like it kind of matches with Nature and Earth Clay more than it does with Calming. And obviously it doesn't have to exactly match Calming, but you know what I mean? Where I feel like there's a lot of similarity, like just the way that they've always laid out their eyeshadow palettes. It's kind of always been like the monochromatic row, which I love, first of all. But I just feel like if you switched Canyon with Earth Clay, like that would match with Nature more so. And that sounds very nitpicky, but I feel like with a palette like this, you kind of have to be picky. And what I mean by that is because I really like it. I will say, I do feel like these shadows are also like a little bit powdery, more so compared to Black Cherry. Like that really didn't have a lot of kickback, in my opinion, but this one, they are a little bit more powdery. I feel like this is a great formula, and I also a nitpick, but I kind of wish that this one also had a cute little imprint. Like, this is really the first time I'm seeing it without an imprint. And I also, like, this is so weird, but it's so helpful for them to have imprints as well, because so many of my eyeshadows don't have anything like that. So then when I look at it, I'm like, I don't know what this is. And so it just easily identifies what the palette it's from is for me, especially when I'm doing my BYOPs where I'm like mixing and matching eyeshadows, because I just don't have all my eyeshadows memorized. So when I see this, I'm gonna be like, wait, is this Simply Posh? And you know what? Lush. Okay, and there's nothing on the back. I know not a lot of brands do that. I know Bella Beauté Bar does, and Dive Room Cosmetics, they have like a special label on the back of their eyeshadows for that reason, because then you can easily identify what it is. But I also think that is an additional cost. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like you don't need to do that when you have the imprints on there. So anyway, I really, if this palette like speaks to you, I would really recommend it. I will say, I know there was, I think I mentioned this like on a previous day, there was some, I don't want to say concern, but some people felt like it looked too similar to Coastal. And there are definitely some similarities between them, but it also feels like a great companion palette where the tones are not quite the same. But you know what? I'm gonna have to look at swatches of Botanical and Thrive next to the teals in Coastal, just to kind of see, like, are they different enough to kind of justify owning both? Because I could also see, like, I'm sorry, I keep referencing my previous videos, because it's not a requirement to watch my previous videos, but you know, there's like an underlying thread there. It is inevitable for there to be overlap in eyeshadow palettes from across brands. There's other brands that do this too, like I would say Bella Beauté Bar, certain color stories, like, oh, I have shadows that are similar. It might not be the exact same eyeshadow color, but it would be similar enough. And not even just within brands from themselves, but like in other brands as well. So anyway, like I said, I feel like the shimmers in this palette for me are just like the absolute best, and I really love the variety we've gotten, and they all feel pretty unique. I would say, I think maybe the only one that's not unique to the Simply Posh lineup is Oasis, but even then it's still unique to me because it is just like a gold with sort of a, because it is just a gold shade, but it has a transparent base, which I really like. But like I said, Earthy, Growth, Down to Earth, Sunbaked, and Soil, those are so beautiful, and I feel like some of the best shimmers that they've done. Those are my thoughts on Down to Earth, and I'm really curious if anybody has it, because this palette has been on pre-order for a couple weeks at this point, and I know that they have been shipping out the orders. So if you have this palette, what do you think of it? What are your experiences with it? And is this palette on your wish list, or you're contemplating picking it up? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know which of the looks was your favorite, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, jokes, leave them down below in the comments, and we can have a little gaggle in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.